So if you don't know who I am, I'm Kyle Ritchie, I'm a hypnotist, and in the last 13 months I've taken my coaching business from just over £3 a month to over 30k in a single month. And how have I done this? I've used the law of attraction. Well, probably not in the way that you've heard it before. I think I do definitely align with the ways that it is taught through the metaphysical and esoteric lens, but I want to in this video today make the law of attraction so practical so you know exactly how you can use the law of attraction in your life. And the way that I teach my clients and the way that I teach the people that I work with, I allow them to practically use this wisdom and information rather than just think, well, how can I just attract things into my life? Do they just appear out of thin air? You're going to have this awareness in a very short space of time. I'm not going to spend long talking about this today. So the law of attraction is, through a metaphysical and esoteric lens, the secondary law to the law of vibration. The law of vibration is the primary law. The law of vibration states that everything vibrates. Everything is energy and vibrates. And the law of attraction states that like attracts like, which means like vibration attracts like vibration. So the vibration that you put out or vibrate on, you will attract similar experiences, opportunities, people, everything into your life. And your life will be shaped by the law of attraction based on what you attract and what aligns with you. How to make this very practical. Your vibration, your frequency, is the state that you operate in. I want you to actually think very basically, right? You have a goal. Start here. You have a goal, you have a vision. If you don't have a clear goal and a vision, you need to get one. You need to get a clear goal and a vision. That clear goal and vision is part of a reality, a life you want to experience. And there's a version of you that has that reality. There's a version of you that has that experience, you would agree. Well, who is that person? What is the identity of that person? How do they think about the world, about themselves? How do they feel? And how do they act? Very simple. Once you get this clarity around who that version of yourself is, you will then understand how to be that person, what their state of being is. This is your vibration, your frequency. Recently, the way that I've taught state is your focus, your self-talk, and your physiological state. So what I would like you to understand and think about in this video to make the law of attraction very practical is who is the version of you that has the goal that you want, that has the life that you want. Who is that version of you? What identity do they hold? What state do they operate in? What do they focus on? How do they speak to themselves? What is their inner dialogue and their self-talk? And what physiological state are they in? Firstly, focus on. You can quickly think about when have you been in the best state? When have you been flying towards your goals? When have you had the most success? What were you focused on in that period of time? I want you to think about that. Then think in that period of time when I was flying, what was I telling myself? Was I saying I can't do it? Was I saying I'm not capable? Or was I saying it's already done, I can achieve anything I want? What were you saying to yourself during that time? And then lastly, what was your physiological state? That would be, when you think about the physiological state, there's two states of being that you can be in regarding the physiology. You can be in a parasympathetic state or a sympathetic nervous state. Parasympathetic is I would refer to it as the creative state, and the sympathetic is the primal state. The creative state, you will feel emotions such as peace, love, joy, happiness, contentment, completion, all these kind of feelings here. The primal state, you will be in fear, doubt, anger, these kind of emotions, okay? Likely the version of you that has what you want, their physiological state is creative, it's parasympathetic, okay? Whether that's they have peace, or they're excited, they're full of love, joy, happiness, whatever that version of you is, sorry, we're referring to the version that you've been before, whatever state you were in, write it down. Write down what you were focused on, what your self-talk was, how you spoke to yourself, and lastly, your physiological state, based on what I've just said there. That's going to give you a reference point to your peak state, the best state you've been in. And I guarantee, if you've had a period of time where you've existed in this state, think about it. The right ideas came to you, the right people came into your life, the right opportunities came into your life. I guarantee you on reflection, you'll realise that actually was happening. Everything went well, everything was clicking. And it's almost like things were being attracted into your reality. Ultimately, what was happening was you were existing in the right state to get the right result. And there's different lenses to look through, but I want to keep this simple in this video today. I'm going to try and keep this very short. So with that focus, self-talk, physiological state, that overall state of being that you've outlined now, I want you to compare that and think, does the version of me that has everything that I want operate in this same state? Put it next to each other. Right under that, in your notebook or in your phone, take notes. Future state, future self. Is it the same? Do they focus on the same thing that you were focused on when you felt good? Are they saying the same thing to their self in their head? And are they in the same physiological state? It might be slightly differently, okay? But whatever that difference is, make the difference. Make a note of who that version of yourself is. What state do they operate in? Once you get that clear, you have your vibration, you have your frequency that you are then able to tap into and operate from. It's your state. Simply, it's your state. And when you're in this state, you know from experience, you'll take the right actions. You'll feel good about taking the actions that move you towards the vision. The other concept I want to open you up to is your brain, okay, being a receiver. So science has shown that we can only see 0.0035 of the electromagnetic field. So everything that we can see that's physical, everything we can see and touch, that is only 0.0035 of the electromagnetic field. So what is the other 99.9%? Well, there's different concepts. The concepts that I teach and believe in is very closely linked to Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard speaks about this unseen part of reality being the fourth dimension. This fourth dimension is a field of information, and this field of information has all of the ideas that you could possibly get. It's already been shown by science that our brains physically do not have the capability to remember everything that we remember. So where is it? Well, it's stored in this infinite intelligence, this field of information. Think about your brain being a receiver. If you're in the right state, let me ask you this before I even say this. You've been in the right state before. You've had the right ideas came to you, and you're focusing on every reason why things are going to work out. Think about when you've been in a negative state. Your brain receives every reason and idea as to why things don't work. Okay? So think about if you outline that state, the version of you that has the success, you get yourself into that state because you know what it is now. You can use things like hypnosis, guided visualization, these kind of things to get into the right state. Once you're in that state, think about it. Your brain is a receiver. You're going to receive the right ideas that align with that state. Okay? The law of attraction states that you're attracting these opportunities, you're attracting these ideas, you're attracting these people into your life. But when your brain is a receiver and you use that concept, what's happening when you're in the right state? You're receiving information from the field. You're tapping into a part of the field of information, the unseen part of reality, that is aligned with the state that you're in. So firstly, get clear on who the version of you that has success is, what state do they operate in, and that is your vibration. Once you're in that vibration, that frequency, when you operate from that state, you will then be in a position where your brain is going to receive ideas that align with that state. What will also happen is, a part of your brain called the reticular activating system is going to filter your reality to align with that state that you're in. Because if you get yourself into that state, where are you operating from? You're operating from a place of already having what you want. Therefore, you have a belief that you have what you want. You're the person that already has the success if you're operating from that state. So what your brain is going to do is going to filter reality through the lens and the filter of your mind based on the beliefs that you hold and based on the state that you're in. So you're in a really good state. You're in an aligned state. An opportunity will come out of nowhere. You'll attract it into your life. The reality is you're filtering reality to see opportunities that were already there before, but now you're in the right state, the right vibration. It's almost like you've attracted it into your life. But practically, your brain is filtering reality differently based on the state you're in and based on the beliefs that you're supporting and holding inside your mind. You will notice that you'll meet the right people. But it's very, very likely, because you've been in the right state, you've taken the right actions, and you've behaved in a way that's aligned with that state to put yourself in the right rooms with the right people. There is a part of this, there is a metaphysical part of this that I actually do genuinely believe in, that naturally, as long as you're in flow state, you will naturally gravitate towards people. And I'll give you an example. Me and my brother Jack went to LA recently, and out of the whole room, we met a few people in that room. We gravitated and randomly sat next to those kind of people. Because we're in flow state, because we're in this receptive state, we're in the state of being, of already having the thing that we want, we randomly, not random, we just intuitively sat down at a seat. We met these people. And in the room, I profiled and looked at every single person that was in the room. And out of that whole room, these were the people, if I was to genuinely choose and have a choice to sit with and connect with, these are the people that I would have connected with. But we didn't even try to do that. We were attracted to each other because like attracts like. So people in a similar state will likely find that they meet each other. Is this law of attraction? Is this magic things happening that we can't see? Based on your beliefs, it could be. But based on my beliefs, we will naturally attract and be attracted to people that are in the same kind of state. It's not random that your friends are quite similar to you, because you will find people that align with who you are. Naturally, you will find people that align with the vibration that you're vibrating in, the state that you're in. And let me give you an example of how you could end up in this position. Think about that LA experience that me and Jack had. The state that we've been in recently has been in a state of love, peace, joy, inspiration, taking action, taking the right actions, and then we find ourselves at a seminar in LA. The people that are also there have likely also been in a positive state, have also been thinking about ways, focusing on ways to improve, saying to themselves, I'm capable of achieving more. And their physiological state, they've been in a creative state very, very lately. So they've then bought the ticket to the seminar, and then they've ended up in the same room as me and Jack. And then we've ended up speaking and connecting. Okay? Has the law of attraction brought us together? Or have we just both been in a very positive state, taken the right action, and ended up in the right place because we are very similar people? These are answers that we can give this labels. But all you need to know is you will have the experience in life that will align with the state that you operate in. Whether it's the state will dictate how you behave, you take the right actions, you take the risk, you move forward, you take productive action in your business, and then you meet the right people. If it's that, or if it is this metaphysical law that brings people to you, attracts people to you, whatever it is, all you need to worry about, okay, whether you put it into the metaphysical law of attraction, law of vibration, or you put it down to human behavior and neuroscience and you just behave in a way because of the state you're in, all you need to really worry about is being clear on the state of the version of you that has success and staying in that state, and you will materialize the life that you want 100% of the time. I have a 100% success rate when I'm in the right state. I didn't in the last 13 months go from 3k to 30k by accident. You can call it the law of attraction, you can call it my behavior was influenced by the state that I was in. Whatever lens you look at it through, it's all real. It's all got validity. But all you need to practically worry about is the state that you're in. So how do you get into the right state and maintain the right state? Well, I work with my clients and I use hypnosis with my clients to anchor the right state, to help them get into the right state. So if I told you right now, you are the version of you that has success, you would be like, Kyle, no, I'm not. But if I got you into a very relaxed state, it's called theta brainwave state, and I spoke to you in a way and guided you to feel what it's like to already have what you want, feel what it's like to have the focus, the self-talk, the physiological state, to be the version of you that has success, you will accept it. Because when you're in a relaxed state, the critical analytical part of your mind that says, that's not true, that starts to loosen, it starts to quieten down, if you want to think about it like that. So the resistance lowers and the suggestibility goes up. And when you're anchoring this state in this track, your brain will not distinguish between that vividly imagined experience and reality. Therefore, you will actually start to rewire your nervous system and rewire your subconscious mind to be in this state, for this to be your new baseline. So I give my clients a hypnosis track, 5 to 10 minute hypnosis track. It will happen so easily and so quickly, it'll blow your fucking mind how quickly you can get into the right state if you're using the right tools like hypnosis. But at the start of the day, my clients will do the track, will set the state before they start their day. When you set your state before you take action, the action's easy to take. The action's also aligned with the state. And if the state's aligned with the vision, you'll naturally take the action that's aligned with the vision and move towards the vision because you're in the right state. The state is all you need to worry about. The law of attraction the metaphysical laws, neuroscience, human behaviour, that's all labels that you're putting on it. Practically, you only need to worry about being in the right state and staying in the right state. You can do that using hypnosis tracks, the ones I give to my clients. I also give my clients a sleep track that will anchor the right state as they're drifting onto sleep. Because when you go into bed, the state that you rest in will be the state that you wake in, most of the time. Think about it. If you've ever had an argument before bed, you probably had a bad dream and woke up in a bad fucking mood. But if you go into your sleep, soaking in and being in the state of having what you want already, you're likely going to wake up in that same state. And even if you didn't, you've still got the track in the morning. My clients still have the track in the morning to anchor that state. So if you're not starting your day by anchoring the state, you're unlikely to keep that state and maintain that state. You're very unlikely to use the law of attraction correctly. You're very unlikely going to attract the life that you want. You understand what I'm saying? But ultimately, the law of attraction, human behavior, all these kind of things, they're all labels and ways of looking at things. They're all lenses that you can look through, and they all make sense. They all say the same thing. That's why I wanted to make this video, because they all say the same thing. It doesn't really matter what you use to articulate what's happening. All you practically need to know is if you get into the right state and you maintain the right state, you're going to attract, materialize, get the results, take the right action that's aligned with the life that you want. So if you get any more questions, put it in the comments below. Hopefully that makes sense. The law of attraction is real. Human behavior is completely facts. The metaphysical, the esoteric lens, as I said, the law of attraction, the law of vibration, 100% is in operation all the time. These laws operate like the law of electricity. If you put your hand into a socket with wet, I don't know if that would shock you, right? Probably not, because of the way they're designed. But the big electric cables and wires, I don't know if you can see it in the background, but if you grab that, you're going to die. You're going to be electrocuted. The law of attraction, the law of vibration, they operate just the same way. So they are in operation, but they're also just a label that you put on things. It's a bit paradoxical. The way that I see it is, it's all right. And whatever you believe will be what you experience. So until the next video, I'll see you soon. And just know, if you're in the right state and you maintain the right state, you will get the life that you want. You will materialize the results that are aligned with the state that you're constantly in.